from somewhere around the world. Mike from around the world.
Pastor Paul, God bless you, brother.
God bless you so much, Mike. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
All right. It's been a lot of stuff goes on in 7 days, Mike.
Yep. Yeah, it sure has.
Let me ask you this. You've talked a lot about a water event that could take place and that eventually is going to take place.
Oh, it will. Yeah.
One person asked a question, and that was, could an East Coast water event happen due to war, like a submarine, some detonation by Russia?
Yeah,
can that create a tsunami?
Sure can. We have an Atlantic anomaly. We have a crack in the Atlantic. We have issues in the Atlantic, right? We also have a lot of nuclear power under the water in the Atlantic. So imagine if a nuclear sub was taken down or something like that, and it didn't exactly explode topside, but bottom side. We already have a fragile floor in the Atlantic. It's cracking all over the place. We have magma breaches, Nicholas coming up from the floor. So that would just, increase that. They already know that if any force gets to a specific depth, it's going to cause a type of cavity wave, concussion cavity wave, that will collapse the East Coast of America. The East Coast of America is full of honeycombs, right? The honeycombs are full of water in a lot of cases. Army Corps of Engineers normally checks on these honeycombs. If they ever start giving way, well, that's it for the East Coast. If we start having land collapses, that's unstoppable in a wave of untold magnitude, right? We'll likely go out to the Atlantic and come right back. And then, there we go.
Be a domino effect.
It would.
All right, Mike. One question we have tonight from one of our viewers was, could December 14th event prevent Trump from going into office? Or could Biden resign and Harris take over? But the question is, December 14th, is this an event that could prevent Trump from going into office?
December 14th, that's a spiritual date.
Okay.
It's a spiritual date, Pastor Paul. And that date is I've named that the hour of Babylon.
Yes, you have, which is in the Bible, which is the 1 hour in Revelation 18.
So I would say that's a one of those dates where we could be entertaining some things we don't want to. Of course, Babylon at the end, she has her moment. In the scale of time, we don't know how long an hour actually is, but it's upon me that Babylon, that name, will take center stage. Will begin to take center stage then. So I've named that
so it's a spiritual thing.
Babylon's hour. Yep. It's the beginning of Babylon's hour.
All right. Yeah. We'll keep our eyes open on that. And we have to look more in a spiritual realm of things that could happen that hour. So we will watch that. All right, Mike, here's another question for you here.
Yes, sir.
You've talked some about the northward movement of the equator. How far have you got any update for us? How far is it? We're tilting,
This winter is going to be really heavy for some people. But I was looking at some of the trending with the weather and some of the atmospheric issues that we're facing in our placement as far as we go around this galactic center. And I'm gathering information on some anomalies that nobody is sure about these anomalies. We know that there is a nasty portion of the galaxy we've got to go through. We already know that. Uh-huh. We know that there's an influence upon the solar system right now, which is altering everything. Right? It's altering our axis. It's altering everything. See, because they're starting to find out that the axis of the sun, they're starting to compute the axis of the sun. They have some external instruments out there, and they're really not prepared to share the data. They don't want to share it right away, which means it's almost like a confirmation that the axes of these planets mathematically are pointing towards something.
Yes.
On a continuous basis.
Yes.
They're pointing in the same direction on a continuous basis. And that something has been altering. It's been altering perfectly. perfectly, which means it's following a course, which means it's connected to us, right? It's very close to us. Its influence is very close to us. There are some critical reports that will be coming out from some incursions that we'll face anyway, they have nothing to do with our topic. This is something new. So we're going to see some things anyway. I believe that it's going to open up and people will be able to judge that for themselves. Then they can get down to the nitty gritty. But what that means is our planet is going to go through some rapid changes. That
true.
means you just watch this month. This is November, right?
Yes.
Just if we continue to live in this month, watch the drastic changes with the atmosphere and some of these storms. We think we have not seen a storm, but we will see some storms. We're going to see, like I said, what was that a couple months ago? I said in the middle of winter, 80-mile-an-hour winds for a snowstorm, or hurricane force winds for a snowstorm. Do you know lights were going out all over the place yesterday because of the winds?
Yeah.
Right. So in the middle, I'm telling people right now, in the middle of winter, when it's cold, they're going to lose power. Because most of the transformers that are out there were made from cheap materials. They are not utilizing certain metals they used to. They have this new process of binding and things of that nature that they don't even know exactly how robust it is. It's not very robust, and wind is going to damage quite a bit of of the grid. They have the grid on a network for rapid shutdown everywhere, right?
Wow.
Redirect stations and everything else. So that means if they feel a grid is about to be damaged, they're going to shut it off before the weather does anything, right? People ought to get ready for ice, unusual conditions, rapid changes in temperature. All this is going to cause wear and tear on these transformers and all these topside electrical devices. Right, we're going to have 2 years worth of damage just in 2 months, just in I'd say December and January. Right, so we should get ready. If the hurricanes, that was a prelude to some of the outages that we're about to experience. Of course, in the winter, it's hard to get from one place to another.
Oh, it's really hard.
So I hope that people take heed and they understand the term foreshadowing, because we're getting these warnings, these demonstrations, but are people going to pay attention and say, well, that could happen to me in the middle of winter, and then what? So then people ought to take some sort of precaution.
A precaution, right. Well, let me ask you, Mike, because, again, as you just mentioned, California, Washington, Oregon area, they get hit with what they're calling now. You've talked about atmospheric rivers before, and now they're calling this thing combined with a bomb cyclone. Then they called it a bombogenesis.
Bombogenesis.
Yeah. So, atmospheric compression, you've explained that to us to where we know now that there's pressure pushing the atmosphere down, pushing the jet streams down, creating a whole lot more violent climate environment, right? And something else is out there pulling a gravitational pull. If we can call it whatever we want to, binary system, planet X, whatever you want to say, but something out there is pulling on the entire solar system, right? So
yes, it is.
You're saying the next 2 months we're going to see some incredible weather that's going to create some massive power outages.
Yes, we are.
Snow, sleet.
I hope
wind.
that people are ready. All the above. Okay. All the above.
You heard it.
And that all this is a prelude, Pastor Paul, because we're still going to have the water event. We're going to have that. We're going to have that water event. This earth is going to be shallow water in a lot of places. Other places are going to be gone. Let me give you an example of something that happened last week.
Okay.
Right now, I can't tell you where, but I will. There was a place where half an island went under.
Half an island just went under.
Just went under. There's a place in America, well, connected to America, and a large portion of it just went under. It just gave way. This is happening everywhere.
Whoa, that sounds like an imploding or a collapsing.
We have tectonic shifting taking place. It's quite silent, right? But it does not stop the upwells of land masses, dirt, soils, and everything. Gases are being released like never before. There was in Mexico, there was a half mile, I guess you could say a dirt berm that came up right in the waters, and bubbles were to the left of it and to the right of it. This berm was, how long was this berm? They say about 800 meters long. Gases are being released all over the place, all over the planet. Gases are, which means we're getting very close to that time where everybody smells sulfur and methane everywhere on planet Earth. And it's really happening a lot in the deserts. Certain places in the deserts, fires are breaching the deserts and the ground. So we have a lot of geological changes taking place. And they're not slowing down. It's just that the news is, well, they don't cover truth anyway.
They sure don't. They're pretty bad. Mike, thank you so much tonight. I mean, you came in here and you took on a million subjects, and you did it again with the clarity to help us all understand just where we're at, what's going on. I feel that heaviness on you about the nuclear situation, the war, the what looks like what could be. It's a dangerous time, and so we've got to pray and don't listen to all the propaganda out there. Be led by the Spirit. Is that right?
Amen. Amen.
So thank you for coming and being on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. I know we all do.
Pastor Paul, thank you. It's always an honor. Always.
The honor's mine. Believe me. God bless you.
All right.
We'll talk again. God bless.
Okay. God bless.